Hi there. I always start with like, hello. I'm very shiny these days. It's my lighting. I'm trying to do the other lighting, but it's not working that well. Hi. Welcome to Canada with Katie. I'm gonna do the intro and then we're gonna talk about Stoicism. What is that? Well, I'll show you. It's pretty exciting. You'd think I'd have this pulled up isn't it every week? I'm like, okay, I'm gonna get better at this. I'll see you in a minute. Boom! Let's do this. Okay, I hope I'm live because it's not showing up, but I see 2 viewers. I don't know if that's on the YouTubes. Listen, I've got something to tell you guys. You're not going to believe this. This has been, believe it or not. Okay, I got to see it. I'm got to make sure. Okay, there I am. Hi. Okay, I know you're sick of it. Sorry, I got to do it every week. This is my 5th year of Candor with Katie, and listen, I don't know how to say this. Kind of a big deal because I've got 28 subscribers on YouTube. Yes, I do. All right, I also have a real estate one that I have like 13. And my Viking on the Move maybe has about 4 or 5. So, it's all about consistency, right? Anyway, I don't really care. It's just fun. I love doing it. I can't believe it. I'm loving being more consistent now. Check it out. We're talking about Stoicism today, and this is really interesting. I forgot to pull up this guy's thing. So I'm like a YouTube watcher. I can't sleep at night, and I'll put things on, and I've got the auto play on, so it'll just play. And this guy came up, and he's called the Daily Stoic. I don't know the guy's name, but he was reading from Marcus Aurelius Meditations. So, oh my gosh, sorry, burp, burp, burp. Okay, let me share my screen, and I'll show you a couple of things here. Okay, sharing my screen. Okay, so Marcus Aurelius, there's a book that's out there and it's called Meditations. Now, can you guys see this? Yeah, okay. It's kind of hard to see, actually. Sorry. It's called Meditations, but basically you can get it on Amazon, and this paperback is only $6.95. You can get it on Kindle for $99. I would think that having like a real hard copy would be good. It's got only 66 ratings on this one, but it's what's funny. So basically, he was a Roman emperor from, I wrote it down, 161 to 180 AD, and he was just this phenomenal guy, and he was constantly working on himself. Believe it or not, it's kind of crazy. So he has this book called, well, he was writing his meditations. So people, I do meditations. I'm sure you guys remember that, and then it's good for you, right? And anywho, these after he passed, they published this book. Okay, well, he's just going to sit over here, so let's watch. And it's just all these awesome things. So it's like basically, he was working on himself his whole life, and he was the Roman emperor. It was like insane, So why is this important? Okay, so I took most of my stuff from this, and I forgot to put the other ones in here, so I'll put them in the comments. Stoicquotes.com. It's got like a whole bunch of pages on there. So they have like, okay, I'll take you over to it if you may be interested. Who knows? Do I have this? Okay, so it's got like different things on here. So it's like, this is where I got some of the information. Core beliefs. I didn't do 9 of them. But you can like go to all these different ones. I don't think that the other one, it's got the quotes, it's got all the explanations on it. It's really interesting. So it really resonated with me because I'm constantly working on myself, and you get down and you think, you're going through something and you feel like you're all alone maybe. And then you're like, oh my God. And then it's this ancient philosophy and you're just like, that's dope, yo. And I just use that because of my Bitmoji. But what is Stoicism? What is it? It basically comes from ancient Greece and Rome, and it maximizes positive emotions and reduces negative ones. Okay. So, and that's not to say you ignore the ones. It's just about how you face life and how you take it on. So here's some of the beliefs. Okay. So the way to achieve a good flow of life is to live in agreement with nature. And this one was kind of difficult for me to figure out because they've got kind of like these different philosophies on it. Okay, so it's like if one is to live in accordance with nature in this sense, it means conforming to one's own will with what is fated to happen. So one of the explanations was, like a plant that it needs to make sure it's nourished and whatever to grow. But it has to do with the way that things come to be, change, and perish. And so the difference here with people is that we have the ability to reason. So therefore, we are constantly working on ourselves, okay? And virtue is the only true good, and vice is the only true evil. So basically, that just means there are four Stoic virtues: wisdom, justice, courage, and temperance, or self-restraint. And that's important, right? Because we all face all these things, and then something happens, we just want to blow up, and that's not what we should do, right? We need to practice self-restraint. So all of these together represent a unity and are inseparable from each other. But this is the kind of things that we don't think about most of the time, because we need to identify what's in our control and what isn't, and learn that our power lies in the things that we have control over. So for instance, you might have cancer. Do you have control over having cancer? No, but you have control over how you are going to tackle the problem, how you're going to face it. Oh, that's the same thing. What you're going to think about it, what you're going to tell yourself, and how you're going to act. Okay. So I have friends who have had cancer and gotten over it. I have a few friends going through it right now. It's not easy, but the thing is, we possess the resources that we need inside ourselves. Okay. So a lot of people don't think that we do, but thankfully we have philosophies like Stoicism to remind us that, hey, it's a constant thing that we need to work on. It's something that we got to do. Okay. And so it's like my last week talking about, do the things that you want to do and don't worry about what the other people think, because it's none of their business. Right. I'll share some quotes with you at the end here. We don't have to let our emotions control us. We can learn to tame our passions. So, it's like the hot Irish temper or whatever. I thought I was a lot more Irish than I actually am. I'm basically a Scandinavian Viking. But there's that temper there too, right? So I used to fly, when you're younger, you just don't understand. And I used to fly off like, right away. And I have a few friends like that. And, we talk about it and we work on it. And that's the thing that we're supposed to do, which I'll get to in a minute also, because that's one of the philosophies. So, you are in control of how you react to others and how you put yourself out there to the world, right? So the art of living is a process, and it involves continuous self-improvement and growth. And isn't it interesting that a Roman emperor, I was going to say empire, a Roman emperor understood this and was constantly working on himself. I don't know how old he lived to be. I don't know. What did they live to, like 17 and a half back then? Just kidding. But it's interesting that he understood this and was constantly working on it himself. Our experiences may be unique to us as individuals, but not unique in the big picture. Yeah, and that's another reason why I share this stuff, because like I said last week, I'm like, should I do this? Should I go there? My dad's not happy that I'm going to Norway again. He just doesn't want me to spend the money or whatever. He worries. But like I said last week, we could die tomorrow. So how can we live our best life on this earth? Part of it is learning how this stuff, self-growth, and learning how to tame our emotions, right? And that's not hiding it. That's just learning how to process and moving forward. Because this philosophy says adversity and challenges help us grow and develop. Do you agree with that? Because they do. I know they do. You don't have to agree with it, but it's like I always say, when you know what you don't want, you know what you do want. If you don't face that adversity, sometimes you just don't know what's on the other side. Okay, so like, someone's told you in your past maybe that you're not a worthwhile individual, or that you're never going to make it, that you just don't have it in you, it's your choice. It's your choice on if, and well, first of all, you should never accept that, but how to change that around. So Denise says, my boss says no expansion without discomfort. I know. It's the age-old thing I talk about too. When you want to go from here to here, you got to go here first. And I don't want to. I think about all the time, like, oh, I don't want to face this adversity. I don't want to do it. So that's me, like, just fighting it. But the more that you can work on these things and develop into who you are going to be, your best version of yourself, it's just something you got to do, right? So our virtues and values can be applied directly to our daily life and impact what we choose to think, say, and do. So it's interesting to me. And Heather Bennett had commented earlier. So if anybody's on here that knows more about this, I'm just giving you just a basic, quick rundown. Here are some personality traits of Stoic people. They're usually resilient. Adversity helps us develop. Okay. Remain calm and cool in situations. I have people in my life that are my calming spirit. I'm like, how in the world are you staying calm in this situation? But they do. And it always comes out okay. Having the self-discipline to work toward achieving higher purposes. So you got to have goals, but you also got to work toward them. Okay. Growth-oriented. We can spend our lives working on ourselves if we want to. I am a firm believer that people can change. They can, but it's got to be their choice and they got to work on it. You know? It's like people who have had horrible childhoods or have suffered things. That's harder to get over, but you got to make that choice to want to do that, right? And if you don't make that choice, then where do you end up? That's just something I don't like to think about, right? So the understanding that the world involves everyone and everything being connected. Okay. Honesty. Hey, honest. This means that according to the virtues, will find the courage to speak their mind, even when they are in negative consequences. They believe that the truth is more vital than others' opinions. But that's not to say be a douche and say all the mean things to people. But it's okay to express that you've been hurt. It's okay to express that you're upset. It's okay to express how someone else is behaving and how it makes you feel. If it's working toward a common goal where you guys can both reach some kind of common ground. Okay. Excuse me, my gosh. Okay. So generous. From Marcus Aurelius' Meditations I talked about, we're all in this together and we have a responsibility to be giving to the people around us. Okay. So perseverance is a big one. Aim high and keep working toward goals, even through obstacles and challenges. So, you know, if you, I should always think of like analogies before I get it, but like if you want to be an astronaut and you get sick when you go through those simulations or whatever, you gotta figure out how to work through that and figure it out, or you're never going to be an astronaut. You know, I don't know why I picked astronaut. That's just an obscure thing. So this is just to tell you guys. So like, do the things you want to do. Be a decent person. Pay attention to the things around you. Don't take things too personally because really it's all up to you, right? Okay, so here's some final thoughts. Yay, I'm keeping them shorter. Understanding what you can and can't control can change your life so you know where to put your energy, okay? If you can't control it, don't put all your energy in it. So some people are just going to be mean people. They're just going to do whatever. You can control your reactions and you can actually control your environment. So if you don't want to be around people like that, unfortunately, if you're working with someone like that, you can't just scoot away, but you can sit far away from them. You can choose not to go to a happy hour after work or something with them. You don't have to be friends with someone that makes you uncomfortable. Okay. So when something isn't going well, take a look at whether it is in your control. And if it is, hey, there's two eyes there. Work to change it. If not, work to accept it. So that would be the Cancer thing that I talked about. You could possibly change it with your actions, but you also have to accept it and not ignore it. Okay. Certain emotions are toxic, including anger, anxiety, envy, and fear. I never thought about anxiety being toxic. I suffer from anxiety, and so this is why I'm always looking at these things and working on this stuff. So I want to know like how you guys feel. Okay, I had to look this up. Epictetus, that's how you say his name. Take the advice of Epictetus. He's one of the philosophers also. Whenever a challenge arises, turn inward and ask what power you can exercise in the situation. If you meet temptation, use self-control. If you meet pain, use fortitude, which means courage. If you meet revulsion, use patience. And in this way, you'll overcome life's challenges rather than being overcome by them. So it's like a big quote, but it's a pretty good one. Because it's in adversity that we learn and we are capable of and how we grow. So face your fears. Really, really think about how you're going to accept or not accept what others say, you know? And hey, there's nothing wrong with proving people wrong, but you don't got to be you don't have to be a douche about it, you know? Okay, I'm going to share a couple of quotes because this is cool. Like, so I'm a big quote person, you know that. So you can just look them up and then you can make it your own, which is really kind of the coolest thing about it, I think. So this is a bunch of Stoic philosophers. Wait, where is it? Where'd it go? Okay, so these are the first ones are Marcus Aurelius. There he's got this fancy pants statue, just like the guy in my picture. Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be one. The best revenge is not to be like your enemy. Choose not to be harmed and you won't feel harmed. Don't feel harmed and you haven't been. This is really interesting, right? External things are not the problem. It's your assessment of them. Which can you erase right now? Okay, so there's a whole bunch of them. I'm not going to read all of them to you. If that kind of thing is something you like, do that. Write in a journal. I wrote in this journal. I got this journal. I totally got this. And actually, it was like based on kind of this philosophy today. So I was like, all right, I'm going to talk about this tonight. So just remember, you got this, you guys. I'm here for you. You got a lot of people here for you. Oh, and thank you for all the amazing birthday wishes. That's insane. It's like taking on a second job replying to those, but I think I got everybody. Okay, sit squatch. The journey begins with you, so be good to yourself. And you know I love you. Have an amazing day. I leave for Norway on Thursday in the morning. I'm going to do Candor with Katie from there. Why not? I'll show you around. I'll show some pictures. I'll do it a little differently. So I'll be seeing you, and have a great one, guys.